This
Hey.
is Sheriff
Hi.
Peter,
Hi,
you know?
Zach. I know Zach's
How are you?
cousin, is it?
Uncle.
Uncle.
Hmm.
Do you go visit him?
I do. I was supposed to go this morning, but I'm here.
Christ, you look like him, too. How's he doing?
He's doing well. Very
Tell him
good.
I asked about him.
I
It was a
will.
mess, that whole thing.
I know.
You know me, you met Brian before, right?
Yeah.
Investigative Novak, Sergeant. Look, there's all kinds of rumors and stuff going on.
I'm aware.
You know what's going on, and so we're trying to close out this whole thing, okay? So I want to ask you a couple questions first, and then by law I got to read your rights and all that that you see on TV, okay?
Yep.
And explain it to you. How old are you, Zach? Oh, I know Kim. Who's your dad?
Freddie Burksville.
Okay, I know Freddie. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have anything to do with Freddie?
Somewhat, yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
What's your middle initials, Zach?
M.
All right. Do you practice religion?
No.
What's the highest grade you completed in school?
12th grade.
Okay. Where'd you graduate?
Glover, sir.
You read and write English?
Yeah.
Did you play sports in high school?
No.
Okay. Did you go to college at all?
I went, and I dropped out.
Okay.
Mhm.
What do
I
you-
didn't go for very long.
What are you now? A CNA?
Yes.
Okay. Tell me about that. Is that like, are you licensed or?
Yes.
Okay. What did you have to do to get licensed as a CNA?
Take a 5-week class. I did it through Capstone Nursing Home, and I took a 5-week class and got certified.
Okay. Where have you worked as a CNA?
I worked at Capstone, Palatine Nursing Home, and I work at River Ridge now.
Okay. Listen, you watch TV, and I have to advise you of this, okay? And you know the circumstance, what we're looking at, and and I want to talk to you about some of the rumors first,
Hmm?
and then go over the stuff. So when I'm done, I'm going to have you initial each one, but I'm going to read it to you, and then I'm going to have you read out loud to us. You have the right to remain silent. Do you understand that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You got to say yes or no.
Yeah.
Okay. Can you initial that if you understand it? Just right next to it, just your initials. Read the second one out loud to us.
Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law.
You understand that?
Yes.
Okay.
If you desire, you have the right to the presence of an attorney.
Do you understand that?
Yes.
If you can't afford one, we'll appoint one free for you.
Okay.
Read the next one.
You can decide at any time to exercise these rights and not answer any questions or make any statements.
And the last one is, this is actually, and you understand, no cost you will appoint it, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I need you to sign and put your address. If you want to, do you understand everything?
Yes.
Do you have any questions of us?
No.
Are you on any drugs or medication or alcohol in the last 12 hours that would affect your ability to understand?
No.
Okay. You know, that morning I didn't even realize who you were.
Yeah.
You didn't tell me. Okay. But let's start now. There's all kinds of, Brian, you want to witness it for this one? No witnesses. There's all kinds of rumors out there.
There are.
Okay? And you know where some of them are coming from, and you know where some aren't. So what are the rumors? I mean, why do you think
Well-
we're asking you here today?
Well, I believe because of Mark, because he's been contacting me, telling me he's going to come to the sheriff's department, say whatever, and he's been leaving me messages, voicemails, because I don't speak to him anymore.
Okay.
And I just blew it off like, okay, yeah, whatever, and I didn't say anything to him or anything. And then I was called here today.
Okay.
So that's
When did you break up with him last time?
This is just a couple of days ago.
Okay. So let's go back. How do you know Pacifica Rim or Justin? How
Well,
do you know Justin?
we were just really close friends, and we met at like her drag shows and stuff, and then
Okay.
it started. I was giving her rides to the shows and stuff like that, and then we just became friends. We were friends for 3 years.
Okay. And, you know, you said back then, and his mom told us that you guys used to just ride around for hours some
Mhm.
days.
That's
How
what we
often, how come you didn't go to like, this is what's confusing.
Well, we did a lot of things, but a lot of like
I don't mean clubbing, so if you were in a club, did you ever just go to like your house or his house? Okay.
all the time. Yep.
Okay, and then so you start out as friends because of the clubs, and then when
Right.
you knew he was local, you gave him rides?
Right. Yeah.
Okay, so how close of friends were you?
Like, very close friends.
Like everyday text
Yes.
friends?
Yep.
Okay. One of the rumors, was that, like an overdose or something.
Right.
Okay.
Well, that's what they said when I was there.
The coroner said
Yes.
that there were signs of the overdose.
Mhm.
Okay. And do you want to look at the statement you gave us that day?
No,
Do you remember
I
it?
remember, yeah.
Okay. And how long you know Mark?
Well, I've known him for a while. I don't know exactly how long. I've always known him, but we weren't close or friends or whatever until, like, maybe a year or two ago, I guess, yeah.
All right, let's go back and tell me, how did you guys start with, like, the day of or the day before you picked him up? Well, first of all, there was some confusion that day.
Right.
So tell me if I'm right. You found him Thursday morning, remember that?
Yeah.
On September 6th.
Yeah.
So the night that you went out, that morning, it was confusing because somebody said, oh, you guys went out Monday night and the Tuesday morning you was
No.
there for 2 days.
No.
No, okay.
We had hung out.
Tuesday, so when did you hang out?
We hung out, it was Tuesday night.
Okay. Did you see him on the weekend before?
No, I haven't. Prior to that night, I didn't see him for a couple of weeks.
Why?
We were out, we just weren't hanging out. Like, we talked and stuff, but we didn't hang out or do anything for like a couple of weeks before that night. That night was my night off, so I was like, oh, we can hang out, and that's what we did.
Did he text you or call you? How did you?
Probably both, I don't know.
Okay, so did you, whose idea was it that night, do you remember?
Like, both of ours, I guess?
Okay.
We just were like, okay, I'm gonna come pick you up, like,
So, did you go pick him up?
Yes.
Where did you guys pick him up?
Well, Mark was there, he drove his car. I was
Okay.
in the car, yes,
Why was Mark driving and not you?
because it was his car.
Okay. All right, so, you and Mark, what time do you think you picked him up?
I wanna say it was around 8 o'clock-ish, maybe 7 or 8.
Okay. And you picked him up where, was his grandma's house?
Yeah.
Okay. Then what'd you do?
Well, he wanted to go to the liquor store, so that's what we did that.
Okay.
And then
Which liquor store?
the one in Broad Albin. I don't know where it's
Dunkin'
called.
Donuts?
Yes.
Okay. And that was right, so you left his house and went right there?
Mhm.
Okay, then what happened? What did he get? Or
He
did you
got-
go in, or did he?
He went in and he got a box of wine and a bottle of vodka.
Okay. And then what'd you guys do?
Well, we just rode around in the car, really.
Did you?
We would go around like the lake and stuff in Northville, and like Mark was driving, and we're just.
You guys must have tons of money for gas. Driving around,
Yeah.
honestly. How much? Who was drinking, and what did they drink?
Well, I know he was definitely drinking.
The wine or the vodka?
The wine.
Okay. Why did you buy the vodka then?
It was for him to bring home.
Okay. Then did you have some wine too?
Yes.
How much?
I don't know, not much, because I was fine.
Did you drink it out of a coffee cup, or did you drink it out of a mug, or how did you drink it?
In a Dunkin' Donuts cup.
Okay.
Do you know how many cups you had?
No, maybe 1 or 2.
Okay. All right. Then, how long did you guys drive around?
We were out for a while.
Do you guys call people, or do you just talk to each other? Shoot the crap?
Yeah,
Okay,
we
you
just
guys-
ride around, listen to music, talk,
Okay.
and whatever.
All right. Where did you go when where was the, did you make it? You guys told us that you stopped at Stewart's or something.
We did, yes.
Okay, which Stewart's did you stop at?
I believe it was the one in Johnstown.
Okay.
I don't remember exactly which one.
Are you talking about the one on 30A's, or are you talking
See,
about
I
the one
don't
around
remember,
in the city?
but I don't remember what Stewart's it was.
Okay, what
Well,
happened then?
We stopped at Stewart's because he wanted to go inside. Justin did.
Okay.
And he's the only one that went inside the store.
Why do you want to go inside?
I don't know. He just wanted to stop at the store.
Okay.
So he went inside there, and then he was on the phone with somebody when he got out of the car, and while he was in the store. And then when he got back in the car, he seemed like very agitated, like upset. And I was like, "What's wrong? Like, what happened?" And he wouldn't say like who he was talking to or what was going on, but he was like very mad at that point. And so I was like, "What's going on?" Like, and we were just riding around, and then as we're talking, kind of, he was like, he just like stopped talking, like wasn't responding, and I'm like, hello, like, and he had just like was sitting there and just like passed out kind of, but I just thought it was because he drank too much or whatever, because then when I went to go look at the wine box, it was like near empty, and I certainly did not drink.
Was he passed out, or was he just...
Yeah, I mean, that's what I thought. I mean, but he was making sounds and stuff. I was like, what do you... And then,
like,
but like, not like talking, but like, I was like...
Gurgling sounds?
Well, no, but I was like, wake up, and he was like doing stuff like that. Like, wasn't respond, like, you know what I mean? Like, and so...
How much of the wine was gone at this point?
A good amount of it, because I went to pick up the box and I was like, oh, and then usually he would drink to the point that would happen to him, like he would like pass out in the car all the time or fall asleep or whatever, and then I would be like, okay.
So it wasn't unusual for him to drink a lot?
No, not at all.
What did he drink all the time?
Wine and vodka.
Okay. Did he mix his wine and vodka?
No, he would just drink one.
Either.
Like he would drink the wine, and we were like out doing whatever. The vodka he brought home. That was for his house to have that for whatever. And so I told Mark, I was like, oh, I think you passed out, whatever, time to take you home. Because that's like that would be the normal thing. Like,
do you recall what time that was you were at Stewart's?
Oh, God, no, I don't remember what time we were at Stewart's. We dropped him off home, I want to say it was around midnight-ish.
Okay.
Around that time. I don't know what time we were at the Stewart's, no.
Did you go anywhere else after Stewart's?
No. We continued to drive around until, like, he was, like, falling asleep, passing out, whatever. And I told Mark, oh, we got to, bring you home. And that's what we would do all, like, that was, like, not like an everyday thing, but sometimes he would drink to that point where he'd be, like, falling asleep in the back seat or passing out or whatever. So then we just take you home at that point.
So when you took him home,
yeah,
what happened? Was he passed out in the back seat?
He was asleep in the back seat. And
was he blue? Was he turning blue or responsive?
No, not that I noticed. No, I remember I kept telling him, "Come on, get up, we're home," and he was like not like. I mean, I thought it was unusual for him not to like respond at all. Like, even drunk, like he would, wake up and be able to talk and
Let me ask you this: did you have to? I thought you told us that day that you both kind of carried, like,
we did.
half carried them, both of you.
We did.
And was he just mumbling or saying anything, or didn't even know? Was it one of those deals where he's just walking with you?
Well, we got out of the car, and I was like, okay, come on, I'm going to help you. And I carried the stuff. I carried, like, a purse and the phone and things like that. So I carried the stuff, and me and Mark, like, helped him out of the car. We walked inside the house and helped him get to his bed.
Was he able to walk on his own?
Yeah, he was. Yeah, I mean, he wasn't, like, walking normally. Like, he seemed very...
Well, I thought that
something
morning,
was off.
tell me if I'm wrong or right, I don't remember.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that morning you said something about, like, you had almost, like, he was like, you had your arm around him, he's
right.
like hanging on you, and he was like, you're like, he couldn't have got up the stairs if you weren't helping.
Probably not, no.
How heavy are you? How big are you?
Well, now I'm like 160. At that time, I don't.
You were heavier. Were you heavier or lighter?
I was a little heavier, probably around that time, yeah.
Would you be able to carry him in the house yourself?
Oh my God, no, probably not, because he weighed more than I did.
Okay. All right. So then, what did you do when you got him in the
bigger
house?
Than me. We just helped him to his bed, and then
in the room on the side.
Right. Yeah. And then he got in bed, and I had his stuff, and I left it there. And I said, okay, see you tomorrow, whatever. And then me and Mark left.
What was he wearing when you left him?
Oh my God.
Because you found him the next day.
Right.
So what was he? Was he wearing the same stuff, or don't you know, or don't you remember?
I don't remember what he was wearing.
You maybe me and you can go get it. You want to get his original statement so he can read it? Yeah, let's go get his original.
Well, you can stay here. All
right.
I'll just look at it.
Everybody starts texting. Everybody's got everything's an emergency. Wait 1 second. Let me just text this. If you're free, thank you. sorry, I just gotta get this if I don't do this.
That's okay.
Yeah, take a minute and read that. Okay. Did you remember, look at the end of your sign, do you remember the deputy telling you that anything you say herein has to be correct and you're making a false statement's a misdemeanor? You remember
Right.
telling me that? Okay. So, now, so you put him in bed and then what, you leave.
Mhm.
Okay, so when do you start texting or calling him again?
The next day,
Both of you, as far as you know, Mark did too, right?
I don't know if he did or not.
Okay, so.
What time during the next day do you think?
I don't know. Probably whenever I woke up. I always met, like, we talked like a daily. We talked all the time. So I woke up.
And that's
and
still
I-
Wednesday, correct?
That was Wednesday, yeah. So I probably texted, didn't get an answer. I was like, oh, he's probably hungover, because like he would sleep sometimes the
Mhm.
whole day from being out or drunk or whatever. So I was like, oh, you know.
So that wasn't unusual? for you?
No. And when I started to think something was like wrong, because I was calling him too, and he wasn't answering the phone, and I was like, oh, maybe like I didn't know like if he was not, his phone wasn't plugged in, whatever. And then it got to be a bit later in the day, and I called, and it was going right to voicemail.
Did you work, now let's see, so you leave Tuesday night to go on your drive around.
Mhm.
You bring him back early Wednesday morning,
Yep.
12 to 1. You go home, what time did you work? Did you work Wednesday or Wednesday night?
I worked Wednesday night.
Okay, so what time do you work usually?
I worked 10 to 6.
Now, you said something about him gurgling and stuff. As a CNA, were you taught CPR?
Yes.
Have you done CPR on people?
No.
Have you
I-
been there when somebody's expired or passed away?
Yes.
Okay, how many times?
Oh, well, I don't know exactly how many times, but more than once.
And they don't have you do CPR or?
Well, CNAs aren't required to do CPR, only nurses are.
Okay.
But I do have a CPR certification, so I can do
Okay.
it, but I've never had to do it, no.
Okay.
I've never been there, like, while that's happening.
Okay, but you've seen people pass away at the
And
nursing
yes,
homes.
yes.
Do you do the defibrillator? Are you trained on it, the AED?
No. I know how to use one, because I worked at Lexington,
Okay.
and you're trained on it there. But no, we don't use that there, no.
Okay. You were there when the coroner came and said she thought that it looked like a drug overdose.
Mhm.
Remember?
Yes.
Okay. In your statement, you said nothing about drugs there.
No.
Okay. You said that that was a true statement.
Yes.
One of the rumors flying around was drugs.
Mhm.
And one of the problems is that we tried tracking down the rumor. I don't know, do you know that there's cameras all over the county? Did anyone tell you that?
I'm sure there is.
There's tons of cameras.
Right.
Floresville's got a ton of them, we have a ton of
Mhm.
them, Amsterdam has a ton of them. We have Mark's car on a camera in Amsterdam that night, okay? So, what we think, and what we've developed, and what we believe, is that you guys went from Stewart's to Amsterdam, and then went home. So, do you understand that if you, right under this, do you know the hold harmless, are you familiar with the harmless law? Like if you think somebody's having an overdose and you call, you
Yes,
got
I
trouble.
am.
You're aware of that, right?
I am.
Do you know that if, under this circumstance, look, first of all, we think that parts of your statement are false,
Mhm.
okay? Do you, and that's a misdemeanor. Do you understand that we're trying to find out what really happened, so
I do.
we know. And
I
the
do.
autopsy came back, and the blood results show that it was alcohol and
Right.
show the presence of the derivative from heroin.
Hmm?
Okay? So now I'm asking you to be honest with us and tell us what really happened, because we know you guys had a car down.
Like I said, when they asked me if he was doing drugs, did drugs, whatever, I don't know.
Why did you guys go to Amsterdam?
We were
Why
riding
you guys
around
in the car in Amsterdam?
everywhere. We always went all over the place.
Let me ask you this. Have you done, look, I don't care about the past, but I want to know, have you done marijuana was Justin a regular marijuana user or no?
No, just sometimes he would do it.
He told his mother that he had done coke from time to time.
Hmm?
Do you know of your own knowledge? And listen, I can't charge somebody because you did coke with them 2 years ago. You
Right.
understand?
Yeah.
That's not a charge, okay?
Well, I do know about that. Yes, I do.
Okay. Has he ever done heroin in your presence, or to your knowledge, has he ever told you he did heroin
No.
before?
No,
Okay.
and I didn't even believe that, because he was so against that, in doing that and all that stuff. So it was I mean, I knew about the coke, yes, and he smoked weed sometimes, but as far as heroin goes, no.
Okay. So let me walk you through this again. You know we've been investigating this for 6 months.
Right.
And you know we talked to a ton of people, right?
Right.
And we talked to a ton of your friends, and we talked to a ton of Justin's friends.
Mhm.
You know that, because they all text you and say, oh, the cops called me, okay? So, one of the rumors is, okay, and that's why we went and looked on the cameras, is that you guys went down to Amsterdam, and you got cocaine or heroin, but now we know it had to be heroin, because there was heroin in the system. The cause of death was the alcohol intoxication and a combination. If somebody uses heroin themselves and dies by themselves, they're not chargeable.
Right.
If you hold somebody down and give them an injection or force them to do something, then you might be charged with a manslaughter.
Right.
So what I'm telling you, I'm going to tell you again. We have, if I told you, and I'm not talking about Mark, take Mark out of it. I'll tell you why I take Mark out of it. If Mark tells me something and you and him are broke up and he's pissed, I don't know if he's telling me because he's pissed at you or because something happened.
Right.
So let's just take Mark and put him aside. If I were to tell you that we had other people that claim that either when you were wasted or since then that you told them when you were upset what really happened, and that what really happened is that you guys stopped, and it wasn't your idea even, that you guys stopped and just everybody did 1 or 2 lines of heroin, snorted it, and
No.
you went home. That would be a lie.
Yeah.
Why would that be a lie?
I've never done that.
Never done heroin or never told anyone that?
I've never done that, and I've never said that to anybody.
Did you tell somebody that you guys left him and you thought, and the reason you kept calling is you thought that when you left him, he wasn't good?
Absolutely not, no. Like I said, I was calling, I went home,
Okay.
woke up the next day, fine, and I was just calling, texting, no answer, and I just blew it off, oh, he's sleeping, whatever. Like I said, when I started to get concerned was later on in the day, I was still getting no answer, which was weird. And then I went to work, and I was still trying to call and stuff, and there's still no answer. And I was like, this is weird. And then I was talking to Mark, and I was telling him something's weird. And so I called the house phone, because I'm like, someone will answer the house phone if he's not going to answer the cell phone. So I called the house phone twice around 2 a.m. when I was at work, and nobody answered. And the house phone's right in the room where he sleeps. So I was like, all right, something's not right. And I told Mark, I said, why don't you just go over and just go over there, just see if everything's okay. And so he did go to the house, and he called me and said that he went there, but he got scared and didn't want to go inside. And I said...
So what time did he tell you this? What time do you think he
It was
went out?
shortly after I
So this would have been
I'm gonna
Thursday,
say-
you think midnight?
This was Yeah, it would be early Thursday morning, yeah, because it was Wednesday into Thursday.
Okay.
So
So-
somewhere around 2 o'clock, 2 a.m.?
3, maybe 3, because I remember, like, I called the house phone when I wasn't getting an answer on the cell phone. So then I started to think, like, what, like, something's wrong. Because he wouldn't be out sleeping all day long and not wake up and plug the phone in or something.
Okay.
So I told Mark, I'm like, why don't you just go over there? Because he was, like, all worried. I was like, well, just go over there. I'm sure it's fine. But go over and just, because we would just go in the house, like, just go check. And so he called me back and said he went to the house, but he didn't go inside.
Called you or texted you?
He called me.
Okay.
And he said that he was afraid to go in the house. And I'm like, why? He's like, I don't know. I went inside and got a bad feeling. And I'm like, you need to go in and, like, make sure that everything's okay. And he said that he already left.
Okay.
So I said, well, forget it. And I was like, I'll just stop over there when I get out of work in the morning. And so when I got out of work, that's why I went over there, and that's what happened.
Okay. Now.
And I did not think anything was wrong, like, the whole day in that sense. I was just, like, feeling weird because he wasn't answering all day long.
Okay. I'm going to ask you again about first of all, you know that a guy from Amsterdam who deals drugs has been arrested, right?
No.
Okay. Well, do you know a guy, what's his nickname, Brian?
Unique?
Unique? Let me tell you what happens.
First name Curtis, maybe?
People get arrested, okay? In order to get out of their arrest, they start running their mouths.
Okay.
Okay? So, if I were to tell you that, I don't like doing this because I don't like to throw people in the bag who tell us. If he were to say that he knows you, didn't know your name, your last name, and that you were somebody, if he gave a list of people that he sold to around here and you were on it, would that surprise you?
I do know of him because of somebody else, one of my friends.
Let me just cut the bullshit with you, okay? We think you guys went to that house. Wasn't your idea to get heroin. You all did 1 or 2 lines, not a lot, because there wasn't a ton in Justin's thing. And then you went home. That he wasn't feeling well.
I did not do anything.
Okay.
I don't.
Did anyone in the car do anything?
I've never done that. And
are you telling the truth?
Yes.
Did you?
And as far as Justin, I don't know.
In the car with you that night, did you see him do anything?
No.
Did you do anything?
No.
Okay.
Did Mark?
Did Mark?
Not that I know of, no.
So what about?
Because we were fine. Like, we dropped him off and went home and went to bed.
I thought you said somebody got sick. I thought you said he was thrown up in the back or something.
So we heard somebody was getting sick and threw up.
Justin, we thought.
Yeah, we originally just thought it was Justin threw up in the car.
No.
Did anybody vomit that evening?
No.
Okay. All right. Is there anything in your statement that's not true that you gave us the other day, or that you gave us in September?
No, I mean, it's all, what happened?
So if the pathologist who does the autopsy says that the heroin had to be, hours old or days old, not months old.
If he did it, then it wasn't in front of me, no.
Did he ask you to buy heroin for him that night?
No.
Okay. When you took your CNA courses, did they teach you anything about detecting whether somebody's telling you the truth or not? Every time I ask you a question, your eyes are going to the right, okay? In all the schools about people's thing, if you make something up, you look to the right. If you're trying to remember something that happened, you look to the left. It's just the way the brain works. And every question we've asked you that sounds anything like about the drugs or about something different, keep looking to your right, which means that you're being deceptive. So I'm just going to tell you that outright. So I'm going to go in and talk to him for a minute. I want you to think about whether you want to be honest. I'm telling you right now, if you guys did stop at a house and get heroin, you can't be charged with possessing it because all I got is your word and I don't have the heroin. That's not what I'm looking for. I want to know what really happened so we can tell his mother what really happened.
We're just looking for the truth.
This is a problem for you because we think this is a false statement. We think we can prove it. It's only a misdemeanor. But I don't want it to affect your job, but we're trying to clear this up, so I'm gonna go with him for a minute. Why don't you think about it, okay? And we'll be back. Look, we want honesty out of you, you know?
Mm-hmm.
That's all we're asking for. All right, so do you want to tell us what really happened?
That is what happened, is my statement.
Okay, so you want to stand by that statement?
Yeah.
Okay, so you understand that right now there's only a misdemeanor.
I'm just like...
And I'm telling you, I'm taking Mark out of the picture.
Right.
I'm saying to you...
And I get that.
Okay.
I don't know, like, what is going on, or what is being said, or rumors, or who's saying what, or what is going on.
I know people have called you, though.
Well, not really. Like, I don't know what people are saying, or what's going on. So, yeah, like, I stick by my original statement, because I truthfully do not know what happened, if he did the drugs, if he didn't.
Okay, do you know if you stopped at the house?
No, because I was not there.
At the guy's house to buy heroin?
No. So, I don't know.
$10 worth of heroin for Justin. You don't eat that night?
No. So, I never dealt with this type of thing before.
Yeah.
So I think, like, I don't know if I, like, need to, like, have a lawyer or something, because I don't know, like, what is going on, but I'm not...
Okay. What is going on is, we want to find out what really happened,
Right.
because the pathology in the autopsy report shows us the presence of heroin.
Right.
We know that heroin was not injected. We know that you guys were in Amsterdam. We believe that you've dealt with this guy in Amsterdam before. We believe that Justin has done heroin before. We believe that there's such an insufficient amount in his system that, as the pathologist would tell us, it didn't take, let's say, I want to say this to you. It wasn't something that he had a ton of heroin, like a week before.
Mm-hmm.
It was something that the pathologist said is there's an amount, a trace amount to show that he had heroin in his system. Okay? There's nothing that said fentanyl. Okay?
Okay.
Okay, because if there was fentanyl and we think all you did drugs, y'all would have had the same result, right?
Right.
Would you agree?
Yeah.
I mean, if it was all the same package.
Right.
So,
that makes sense.
yeah. So basically, we were just trying to get to the conclusion of this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
If y'all did it, it's not a big deal.
Well, now I don't know. I'm feeling nervous. Like I don't know. Like
Okay. What's your question for us about?
I don't really I don't have a question.
Okay. Let me
it's more
explain
like,
this to you.
Okay.
Let me explain this. I have cases, and I can even show you one. Four guys were in a car, and they were sharing heroin. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
One guy dies. Okay. They didn't go to the hospital. They didn't do anything. They leave in his car. You're not a CNA. That's why I keep asking you those CNA questions. That's why I keep asking you those CNA questions. You're not a nurse. You're not a doctor.
Right.
As a CNA, you can wipe somebody's
Right.
You know what I mean? You can do CPR, but you're not required to give needles. You're not required to do the defibrillator. Okay. So that means that if you were a nurse or a doctor, a higher level than a CNA, you'd have an obligation to do something if you thought he was sick.
Right.
By law,
well, that's the thing is that
by law, you don't have an obligation because you're a CNA. If you were in a nursing home, you'd have to do something.
Right.
You're not working, okay?
Mm-hmm.
If you're a nurse or a doctor, you're licensed and you're under the oath that you got to do something,
Mm-hmm.
okay? So that part of it, like we weren't sure if he was dead.
That's something that I'm concerned about right now. Is that a lot of the rumors, things like that, things that I've even heard, is that is what happened. We left it, we didn't do anything, this and that. That is not the case.
Okay, let me ask you this. Here's why we don't believe some of the rumors. Because if he was so drunk that he was passed out and he was
Right.
dead.
But I was
You
not.
got two, if he was dead, you got you and him, you and Mark aren't gonna be able to carry him
in.
into the house.
He'd have scrapes on his legs, there'd be other evidence.
Yeah,
Okay.
I didn't,
So-
yeah.
So that one we don't believe, okay? So let's just put it this way. We don't believe he was dead when you got him in the car to the house because we don't think you, that's why I asked you your weight.
Well,
I don't think you two
absolutely
could have
not.
carried him into the house,
No.
okay? So we agree with you there, okay?
Yeah.
But we do believe, okay, and this is why, like I said, I'm setting Mark aside, but this is what I'll tell you. What we know from Mark, if I set what Mark tells us aside, we can corroborate it.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So like, we can, like the car on the video, you know, if a car is on a video, and that shows us, it says, look, we were on Route 30, we went down Anston, we drove up 30, or we drove up Golf Course Road, or wherever we drove, and then we have, you know, Hannaford, or we have the state police cameras,
Mhm.
we could see, and that corroborates or verifies what he's telling us.
Right.
And, okay, so, I mean, I'll even show you the case, and you're smart, right?
Yeah.
Can you go get that? There's the one case that
Yeah.
says the guy's in the car. I want him to read it. So we
Just
know.
on the other thing, we're just looking for the truth. We're not.
I don't.
Just hear me out. We're not looking to jam anybody up, okay? But if we believe circumstances are different than from what you're telling us, we're gonna keep doing this, spend more time. We're gonna get all that
Well, that's
cooperating
the,
evidence.
that's the thing.
And then we would
I don't-
arrest you for lying.
Right.
We don't want to even do that. We just want the truth for Lori, and
Mhm.
so we can close our case out.
And we're gonna read a case, I want you to read it, and then that way you'll have a different comfort level. You know what I'm saying? You'll have a comfort level that we're not here to screw you over, okay? You concerned about your job, is that what you're concerned about?
No, I'm concerned that I don't know. I don't know. What, okay.
So here, I want you to read it yourself so you know what I'm talking about. Here, let me show you where to start, because it's the same situation as you. When I say same situation, I mean similar. Okay. Okay, here, look. There are helicopters all over Mayfield this morning for some guy who was put in jail for pointing a gun at his girlfriend like 3 years ago. He got out and I guess he went off the deep end, so they sent everybody.
Okay.
Okay, so do you see that if the rumor was that he died with you guys,
I do.
and you dumped him, there wouldn't be any charges. Do you see that?
I do.
Okay, so that should ease your concern there.
I mean, yeah.
You see what it says? It says, you're driving around with 3 guys in a car, and everyone
yeah.
goes cook heroin.
And we don't even think you dumped him.
We don't, he was alive, because
He
you
was
couldn't, you couldn't carry, you physically couldn't carry him.
No.
Okay, so that's where we
And
are.
I understand,
What we're looking
but
at, we want to clear it up.
I don't. Like, I don't know, I feel like I should, like, talk to somebody, like, I don't know, like, what to do. Like,
Okay.
I mean,
Let me ask you this, If you got brothers and sisters?
Yeah.
How old's your brother?
I have 3 brothers.
Okay, pick one.
Yeah.
Pick a younger one. How old's your brother?
15.
Okay. Your brother goes out with his friends one night, plays football, they go out, they get drunk. Something happens.
Mhm.
He goes home, his friends drive him off, he's dead. Okay? They say, oh, he was just drinking like the rest of us. And the doctor says, no, there's some heroin in there. It couldn't have been more than a couple days old because it sold a trace, and it wasn't enough itself to kill him. There's no fentanyl, because if there was fentanyl and more than one person did it, they all would have the same death, because fentanyl, you need a powder, a little bit. That's why you should stop using drugs, by the way. But, so now, your brother's friend says, oh, no, we didn't do anything. Well, the pathologist says you did. Wouldn't you want to know?
Absolutely.
Wouldn't you deserve to know if you're a
Absolutely.
friend of his? So, I'm telling you right now, even this, going to a house and getting drugs, that's not buying, that's, you know what I mean, that's not selling, you're a buyer. You don't read the paper, charged with buying drugs. It's always charged with selling them or possessing.
Mhm.
We don't even have the drugs to charge you with possession. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So I'm telling you that we're not interested in charging you for getting drugs. We just really want to know what happened, so we can say, Lori, this is really what happened. This is why there's heroin in the system, and whether he's the one who wanted it, or whether you or Mark said, hey, let's try it, or whatever. We just want to say
Well, I
that's...
certainly did not.
Okay, but what I'm saying is, what I'm telling you is that is what we want to do, because what you told us isn't consistent with what
The facts we know.
other stuff that people have told us. And
Mhm.
so
Well,
you
that's
know,
the thing, like, I don't really know all of even what people are saying.
yeah, but
Well,
here's the thing, the
besides-
rumors and gossip, I don't care, but here's
Yeah.
what we did. We have everyone's cell phone records, okay? We have yours, we have Mark's,
Yeah,
we have everybody's cell phone records. So when you delete something, guess what?
I am aware of that.
It doesn't get deleted,
Right.
okay? So we got everybody's records, okay? And so we know all the conversations. We have conversations of, hey, delete those texts I sent you. Ones how funny it was that I was so screwed up, We have texts from, Taylor's texts. We've got Millington's texts. We got texts from everybody that we thought would have relevant evidence. And how we do that is we start with you guys and then go out by, okay, who did they call, who did they text, and then we get subpoenas for that stuff,
Right.
okay? So what I'm telling you, even when you hit delete, we know what
Well,
you
I
said,
know
okay?
that.
So now I don't want to play games. That's why I say what you're telling us isn't adding up to what, and I'm not talking about the rumors. I'm talking about stuff doesn't add up. Like a text saying, delete what I told you, forget I told you that. Well, why would you want somebody to forget what you told them if it was as simple as being drinking? You know what I mean? So, and that's when we interview you, we don't say, here's our whole folder, look at our whole folder. Because we want you to be honest, because if I put the words in your mouth,
Right.
it's not true.
And the thing is, too, you say he was pretty well drunk, you had to assist him into the house, he's in no condition to drive or go anywhere.
Mhm.
He's at home, Grandma verifies he's been home all the time.
Right.
Where did the heroin come from? You guys were the last ones with him.
Right.
So it came pretty much from
But I
that
don't
time.
know, like, I don't know. I don't know what,
Zach, it's a simple thing.
I
Did you?
understand.
I don't care that you might have done heroin that night. I want to know if you were with him when he did it, and if you got it in Amsterdam, like we believe from the rest of our case. And I want to close this out. The only charge that you face right now is falsely filing a statement. Now, if you tell us what happened, then we're going to say, well, that's all we want to know. You know what I'm saying? If we put everything else together and we can prove which we think we can, that the line in there about no drugs is false, then we're gonna charge you. If you get charged, you could lose your job, which you can't afford to do. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and part of my thing is, when we've been doing this, your name keeps coming up as somebody who uses drugs on a regular basis. You are, I'm just telling you.
From
If you
other
are,
people we've
from our,
spoken to.
so if you are, it's, you know, you're gonna end up sick, dead, or arrested.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's not worth it, you know, for your own good. That's, you know, that's fatherly advice,
Mm-hmm.
or grandfatherly, because I'm old enough to be a grandfather. That's fatherly advice. But look that over. Listen, if we wanted to arrest you, we could have just come up and arrested you. But it's more important to us to find out what really happened. I can't charge you for being with somebody who dies because they used drugs. He didn't die just because of heroin. He died primarily because of the alcohol, but the heroin was in the system, you know? And if it was fentanyl, and this is why we're concerned, if it was fentanyl and he used it alone for the 10th time, then that might have been his death. But if you guys used it with him, then that tells us that there wasn't fentanyl, because when there's the frickin', I don't even, like a sand, not even, you know, doesn't take anything to kill you.
Right.
Do you want to think about it a few more minutes?
I don't know. I think like, I don't know about any of this stuff.
Okay.
Like, I don't know. It's like, I don't know.
Well, look, here's the
What-
question.
like,
I
I feel
mean,
like-
you want to be honest, and you want to be honest with yourself and us, and help the mother know. You said it yourself. If your 15-year-old
But it's
brother
like,
died,
I don't know.
listen to me. Look, you just said it yourself. If your 15-year-old brother died and there's drugs in the system,
Right,
and his friends died,
absolutely.
you would want his friends to say, look, you're his friend. You just told us. You text every day. You're friends. You've been friends for years. You hung out together. You went to his shows. You drive around endlessly talking about life, right?
Mhm.
Talking about people you like or whatever. And so I guess the point there is, why not do what you would want for your family?
Right.
That's all I'm saying to you. And let me tell you something. If you tell us that, we're not going to arrest you today. We're going to look at that. We're going to look at this and say, okay, is it more important that he told us the truth? Is it more important that he lied, or that he told us the truth and cleared it up? I'm being honest with you. All right? So I don't know what to tell you either. I mean, I just say, look, think if you were his mother or his family, would you want his friend, Zack, who knows what happened, to say what happened? So Mom knows?
Well, yeah.
Okay. I mean, if you want to ask me about the charges, I already told you. You saw that. We can't
Right.
charge you because somebody
Well,
died. That's what I said. If you want to
I
ask
mean,
me a question,
I don't know what, I don't know what to think. Like, I don't know. I don't know
Okay.
what, like, I don't know.
All right.
Like, I'm uncomfortable.
Okay.
Like, I would rather, like, speak with somebody and, like,
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay.
Like, I don't,
Where were you going to visit Chauncey today? Where's he at?
Zack,
When's he get out?
I don't know.
Okay. All right.
Just in regards to what we've spoken about today, would you be willing to give me a statement on that?
I read the statement.
You didn't have any knowledge of him doing the drugs again and all that good stuff?
I mean,
Or would you rather think about it and call us tomorrow?
yeah, I'd rather not, because, like, I don't know.
Okay, do me a favor. Why don't you think about it overnight? Give us a call tomorrow. You got Brian's
You got my
number?
number, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So think about it overnight. This is what we're telling you. Listen to me again. We think we have a good enough case to charge you with false statement under there, okay?
Mm-hmm.
We need probable cause to believe that somebody gave us a false statement and that somebody was you. Well, that's the two requirements, and that you knew when you gave it was false. This is what we're concerned with, not the false statement. We want to be able to say, Lori, they did stop the guy heroin. Nobody forced it on Justin. That's why it's in his system. The heroin didn't kill him, from according to the autopsy. It was a contributing factor or part of it, but he was a .24 alcohol. And that's when, so he could have been much higher before he died, or when he died, okay? So All right, and so it doesn't affect your CNA, and being a CNA doesn't mean you gotta do something different with them.
Right.
And you can call the state and find out yourself. But you know, if you're working, your requirement is something, if you're not working, it's something else.
Mm-hmm.
You're not
You're just a normal
mandated-
citizen
yeah.
like everybody else.
You're not a mandated reporter as a CNA, which means you're not required. So do you want to take that with you, read again, and just call up Brian tomorrow and let us know what you want to do? Why don't we do that?
Sure.
That gives you time to think about it, all right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Do you have any other questions of us?
No.
Okay, so we'll say you get terminated at 9:16, and that you agree to think about it and come back and talk to us. Okay?
Okay.
And you got to work tomorrow? Are you off tonight?
I'm off tonight. I just worked 16-hour shift. Like, I
Oh,
just
so-
got out of work a little while ago.
So that's why you're tired and cranky and don't want to straighten this all out in one day.
Mhm.
All right. All right. All right, thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, again, thanks for coming in. I know I asked you this before, but I forget where my note is. Your first name is John?
Yep.
What's your middle initial?
Al. Millington.
I briefly explained on the phone, you're aware of what happened with Justin,
Yes.
and we're just trying to figure that all out. How long have you known Justin?
Well, my aunt owns the Timeless Tavern
Okay.
up in Northville, and when I was 14, I was the dishwasher there, and he was a server, and like me and him would always talk and everything. But
How long ago was that?
I'm 21 now, and I was 14, so
6, 7 years?
yeah. But we just recently connected again last year around like Halloween, and we did a lot of photo shoots and shows together. The Seated Drag out in Albany and all of that.
And you do that also?
I don't know.
Oh.
I don't do drag. I'm a dancer out there. Like I go for him and stuff like that.
Okay. So you worked with about a year ago?
Yep.
Met up and started working with him?
We did a lot of promos and stuff like that too. And after you called, I started to think, and I looked up, like, when the last time, like, we actually, like, talked. So, it was, so August 30th, we had a photo shoot, and that was the last time that I hung out with him
And where was that photo shoot?
in Amsterdam. It was, taken by Sarah Baldwin.
Okay, and that's a friend of his also, right?
Right, yep.
Because I gotta call her yet.
It was on like the lookout thing. I think the pictures were taken on the lookout. It's like in the park, kind of.
Oh, right down by the river?
Yeah.
Okay.
But the last time we had talked was the 3rd. Actually, no, it was the 4th. I told him, I went out that night and I told him to come out to O'Connor's, and he's like, I don't go to O'Connor's. But,
And was that message or text?
text. Said I don't go to O'Connor's, and just said I miss you, and I said I'm trying to get a hold of you for a couple days. I know I've been so busy with work. And that was the last thing that I got, was the 4th.
And what time was that?
9 o'clock that night.
And he said he doesn't go to bars or doesn't go to O'Connor's.
Doesn't go to O'Connor's. He usually, like if we go out to a bar, it's usually out in Albany, like if he's doing a show or something. Or like maybe we'll grab some food at Applebee's. But he never likes to go to like the local bars.
Right.
It's just, people are judgmental.
Especially around here.
Mm. I don't even like going out to bars. The only reason I go is because my friends drag me.
Did he mention any plans he had for the 4th, what he was gonna do?
No, he was, he said he had just done a birthday party, and that was about it. And then he had asked me to because I just started at Sam's Steakhouse,
Mm-hmm.
and he had asked me to FaceTime him that night when I got home, and tell him how my first day went and everything, and I tried to FaceTime him, and I didn't even get an answer. So.
What time did you try FaceTiming him?
See if I can pull it up. It was around like 8 o'clock.
Oh, 8 p.m.?
Yeah.
And then you texted him around 9?
Yeah. No, this is the 3rd,
Okay.
not the 4th.
Okay, so...
And when he texted me, asking if was my day, like, well, the day I started, it wasn't even, like, the day that I had started. I was like, it's tomorrow. He's like, well, at least you got another job lined up. I'm like, yeah, and he's like, well, FaceTime me tomorrow and let me know how it goes. Tried to get home and never got anything on the 4th.
So, did you try FaceTiming him
Yes,
also on
again,
the 4th?
I tried FaceTiming him that night and then again on the 4th,
Okay.
around, like, 7:30.
And then at 9 you texted him?
Yep, around 9 I texted him, said, come to O'Connor's.
Do you know any of his other friends other than Sarah?
Yeah, I'm not good friends with them. I don't really like them, but I know Zack McCabe.
Okay.
His boyfriend Mark.
Oh, so Justin was in a relationship with Mark?
No.
Oh, or Zack and Mark?
Zack and Mark.
Okay.
I never really hung out with them. Like when they hung out, I just kind of didn't get along with Zack that well.
And do you know Mark's last name?
Mark. I can look it up. Mark Kilburn. K-I-L-B-U-R-N.
And how well and you didn't know Mark that well either?
I didn't know Mark that well, but Zack and I, we did hang out one time, and he actually tried to beat me up because I wasn't interested in him and everything like that, and then Justin was actually there as well. This was like months and months ago.
Okay, why don't you really like Zack and Mark?
Because they're snotty, they don't really get along with anybody. If they don't agree with one thing that you say, they'll grill you for it the rest of the night. And then they just talk and talk and talk about stupid things. They do stupid things.
So they argue with you if you disagree with them?
Yep. And there's not really any way to talk to him, and especially the last time, he was super drunk and he tried to beat me up and I had to walk away and I was like, no, we're not doing this. And I walked home.
How many months ago do you think he tried to beat you up?
Maybe 3 or 4.
So, about what month do you think?
Yeah, I think it was May, the end of May. Because I had just turned 21 a couple weeks ago.
you guys when he tried to do this?
O'Connor's.
And why did he want to fight with you?
I wasn't, like, he was trying to flirt with me and everything like that, and I wasn't feeling it, and he was like, you just think you're so much better than me, blah, 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 and I'm like, no, because I don't want to stick with you that thinks me so much better than you.
No, was he with Mark at the time?
No, we were with Justin.
No, but I mean, was he dating Mark at the
No.
time? So that's kind of a new thing then,
Yeah.
between them two.
Those guys have been on and off for years, though. They weren't together then. Zach likes to hop around with guys.
So you pretty much dismissed him and...
Yeah, he's probably had like the last, like, 4 boyfriends in the last year. I don't mean to, like, really badmouth anybody either, it's just
No,
I don't get
well,
along with them, and...
Well, I'm looking for the truth,
Right.
Because I know the story I was told, and I have a hard time wrapping my head around the story, so I'm just trying to get some background of who everybody is, and things like that.
Now his mom is a little woohoo, but so I had heard that she had received text saying that, hey, just so you know, Justin wasn't doing too well when we dropped him off, maybe you should go over and check on him.
I don't know anything about that.
That's what I had heard from one of my good friends that is good friends with her.
And so one of your good friends is also friends with Justin's mom, Lori?
No, with Karen, who was with Lori. Like,
The aunt? Or no, Karen is Lori's good friend.
Yes.
I think.
So, and my friend Cody Dom, she works for Karen, so that's how they talked.
And that's Cody
Dom.
D-O-M?
D-A-U-M.
D-A-U. And is it C-O-D-I-E?
C-O-D-Y.
Is that a male or a female?
Female.
Because usually
Yeah.
women have the I-E.
She had said that she received text messages from a number saying that she should go check on her son because she wasn't doing too hot. I'm like, well, maybe I can talk to Lori and figure out whose number that was texting her and dropped him off that night.
So Cody said, good friend with friend Karen. So Karen told Cody what again?
That Lori had received text messages from a number saying that she should go check on Justin because he wasn't doing too hot when they dropped him off.
And do you think Cody would be willing to talk to me?
She might. She doesn't really know anything about it other than what Karen...
Well, that's what I'm trying to find, that
Yeah.
Karen thing there.
Yeah, I'm sure she would.
And what's a good number for her?
Is 518
Yep.
752 6933.
Okay. Any other reasons why you didn't really like Justin or Zach and Mark?
They were just... to me, they were just disgusting people. They did a lot of different drugs and everything that I wasn't really wanting to try, that I heard about, and that Justin himself has told me that.
Have you ever seen Zach and Mark doing drugs?
No. Maybe smoked some pot, and that was it.
So it's pretty much you got this information
From Justin, yeah. Who did that with them. But, he said they never really did, like, the hard things, like, they did coke, I guess, one time.
So they smoked pot, did coke.
The worst thing I heard Piff say Justin, I keep referring to him as Piff, that's just a nickname that we came up with, but the worst thing I heard Justin say that they did together was he did crack one night by accident.
You ever mention anything about heroin, anything else like that?
No, I've never even heard anything about heroin.
We're not sure if that's what it was or not. It's going to take
Yeah.
many, many months, up to a year, to get the toxicology back with this opioid epidemic. The labs are backlogged, and so instead of waiting until then to find out what type of drug he was possibly on, we're not even sure if it was drug. Then this will be like a year old, and people's memories will be failing.
I was wondering, like, after a month, I don't know, I think it's been almost a month now, and nobody's ever, like, mentioned it or talked about it or said what happened,
So you haven't heard any rumors?
I've heard a lot of rumors, but I don't
Okay.
believe half of what you hear and only what you see. And people always ask me, they're like, so do you know what happened? I'm like, I literally have no idea. I literally say, I have no idea. How I found out is I woke up to, like, my phone blowing up by people messaging me and asking me what happened, and then I had a message from Zack saying, like, I'm so sorry, I'm here now. Like, I guess he's the one that found him.
Yeah.
He said he was at work all night, but then, like, I just hear things, and whatever he's saying isn't adding up. It makes me weary, because...
what kind of things are you hearing?
Like, this one girl, Caitlin, I met her at O'Connor's one day, and she's a lesbian, and she's like, I just want to say I recognize you from the photo shoots and everything, and I'm so sorry. And I guess she was, I can't remember her last name, to save my life. She had said that she's good friends with Mark, and Mark had mentioned some things to her, and that Zach wasn't at work that night. So I don't really know what happened, and Zach's like, I just got here out of work, and... So, like, for a while, I believed that Zach was at work and, like, just went over and checked on her, but now I wonder if Zach was with her. With him.
I don't think so, but, again, that's why I'm trying to get...
I'm just hearing so many things, it's like, I don't even know what to believe.
And what was that girl's first name again?
I think it's Caitlin or Catherine. I feel like she tried to add me on Facebook. I don't know. Yeah, I have no idea.
Okay. What other kind of rumors have you heard?
I've heard that it was heroin. I've heard that he was so intoxicated he choked on his own vomit. I've heard that, someone even said that he might have been like that when, like, he got home, and, like, I don't even know.
Yeah. Zach or Mark say anything to you other than that text message?
No, but this is the message I got that morning.
That was on 9/6?
Yes. It was at 9:03 a.m.
And who's that from?
Zack
Okay.
said, "Honey, I just want to tell you that Pacifica passed away this morning, and I am so heartbroken and shocked. I can't believe this is happening. I just saw her Tuesday night. I didn't hear from her at all yesterday or last night. I tried calling her several times with no answer, so I got worried, and I just stopped over this morning to check why her phone was off and what she was doing, and I found her passed away in her bed. I'm so sick right now. I'm sorry."
Anyway, you can send that to me. Either an email address or I'll give you my cell phone number.
And then I said, "Why? This is a joke, right?" He said, "I'm so sorry. I would never joke. We are at her house with everybody. I didn't hear from her at all. I knew something went wrong. She didn't answer the house phone. That's why I came over to the house to see what was going on, or if she was sick or something." I said, "What the fuck? I tried calling him up last night. How did this happen? Oh my god." And he said, "I have no idea. I'm sick. I can't breathe."
Yeah, if you could send me all that, I'd appreciate it.
And he sent me this huge paragraph on the 7th at 8 a.m. He said, "I just can't get it out of my head. My mind is everywhere. Just all the memories and having to accept I'm never going to see her again. I keep thinking if I had done something differently, I could have avoided this. I don't know what I could have done, but I knew something was wrong. I just thought that I tried so hard to just ignore it and tell myself everything's fine. Just always fine. I went to her house to check on her and found her. It was awful. I can't even put into words. I couldn't even look at it. I couldn't even be in the house when they brought her out. I didn't want to see it. Piff had a side to her that no one really knew about, and everyone makes their own choices to do things, and not thinking about what could happen to them. I just keep that in mind, and it's definitely been a real eye-opener for me as well. Regardless of what she did or what she had going on in her life that no one knew about, I still believe that she didn't deserve this, and I know she was depressed lately about stuff, but I don't think she'd ever intend to commit suicide. Whether it's drinking too much, blacking out, taking drugs, whatever it is, everyone makes their choice. Unfortunately, things like this happen. I thought she just got really drunk and slept all day. I didn't think anything until I didn't get a response from her at all. Then I got worried. I felt something was wrong, and I wish I had been there sooner. Maybe I could have gotten to help her quicker. Can't change what happened. All we can do is be strong for each other and remember her for who she was as a person, and cherish the time we spent. She wants to do that. She loved us both, and I hope you know I do consider you a friend, even though we haven't always gotten along. I'm here for you, and if you need anything or just want to talk or do something, get a hold of me anytime."
Okay. Yeah, if you can send me all that. Have you ever responded back to him?
I did not. After that, I didn't even respond.
Okay. You haven't spoken to him since or anything?
No. At the funeral, I walked up and I gave him a hug. I was like, "How you doing?" And he was like, "Nothing. I'm okay," but his mom's being a fucking crazy psycho. And like, he was asked to leave the funeral. So
Yeah, I heard about that.
that was the last time I saw him. Email?
It's going to be B as in Brian, Novak at Fulton, Fulton, County, County, NY .gov.
You want me to put as the subject first?
Just text from Zach. I have a question for you. Do you think if you called Zach, he would tell you the truth about what happened, or do you think he might make up stories about what happened, what they were doing that evening, where they were?
I feel like if I were to just call him out of the blue and do it, it would be a no, like, he'd lie to me. But if I try to reconnect with him for like a day or two and then hang out with him, maybe he'll tell me something.
Would you be willing to do something like that?
Yeah, I can.
Okay, what I'd like you to do, and it's, like I said, it's totally up to you, maybe try to reconnect with him and then find out what his work schedule is, and then maybe contact me, and what I'd like to do is what we call a recorded phone call, and we have a little recording device. It's got a line onto it. It goes to an earpiece. You put the earpiece in your ear, and then you just put your cell phone up to the other end of the earpiece, because it's got like a pass-through microphone in it,
Mm-hmm.
and then we can hear both sides of the conversation. I don't know if they were upset the morning that they were found, but the stories just don't
Add up.
Yeah, there's a lot of gaps in time and things of that nature where they were. And yeah, I would definitely appreciate it if you'd do something like that, because people always, try to hide things
Right.
from the police and try to determine what.
I know
true.
I know Zach has always had like a thing for me too, so I think what I'll do is I'll try and message him today. I work today, but I actually don't have a day off until next Tuesday. But maybe I can go out and hang out with him and just try and reconnect. I don't know, and then see what goes on from there. Because he's not. If I call him right now and just ask him, he's not gonna.
Because it's it'll be very
Be
suspicious
suspicious,
looking.
yeah.
But yeah, I would appreciate it if you do that. And before you leave, I'll give you my card, and I'll give you my direct phone number to my office. But this could be nothing, just that
Mhm.
they were out doing whatever. Maybe they did drugs, maybe they didn't. Maybe Zach did them on his own. But I just have too many gaps and some inconsistencies to feel real comfortable
Mhm.
right now with what he told me. And if I go to interview him again, I don't know if I'll get anywhere with
Right.
him.
So you already interviewed him once?
At the house.
Okay.
One of the deputies did.
Alright. So you haven't brought him in and talked to him? Or anything?
No,
Okay.
no.
So he thinks this has all died out and.
Pretty much.
Okay.
Definitely don't say anything to anyone that you were here talking to us. But eventually, I'm probably going to bring him in to talk to him and Mark again. But I'm just trying to get as much background information as I can
Exactly.
and have
Enough stuff to ask.
ask
question him
where
on.
I know the answer.
Right.
Right now, I have no idea where they went. So
I have no idea who was even hanging out with that night. And usually, Justin will get a hold of me on certain nights and just FaceTime me out of the blue or ask what I'm doing and everything. And I didn't get anything that night. So.
Okay. Anything else you can think of?
No, not really.
Okay. Let's see. Other friends besides Zach and Mark and Sarah. Anyone else that he normally hangs out with that I might be able to talk to?
That's it, really.
That's all
Other
you
than
know.
people in Albany, when he goes and
Does his shows and things like that. Because I know he's got a ton of Facebook friends.
Yeah, he talks to them. There's people he talked to on the daily but never hung out with. But I think me and Zach were his closest friends that were from around here. So.
Okay.
It's been an endless parade of I'm sorry's, and it's kind of over it. I'll just see somebody and they'll recognize me from one of the shoots or like know me and know that we were good friends, and it's like, I'm so sorry for your loss. I'm like, thanks. What am I supposed to say to that?
Yeah.
It's been almost a month now and it's still happening.
Yeah, well, and it's gonna happen for a while. Okay, like I said, I'll give you my card. It's gonna have the main office number on it, and I'll write my, direct phone line to my office on it. But if you think, you're able to make a call, even if it's on a weekend, I normally work 7 in the morning till 3 at night. But if it's later than that in the day, during the week, or you think it's best to do it on a weekend, give the main number a call and ask them to call me at home and get back in touch with you, and I'll call you back. So if we have to make something for after hours or over the weekend or something, we can do that. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay, well, thank
I'll
you
work
very
on
much.
that and I'll let you know.
I'm just not here Thursday and Friday of this week. I got family things going on, so I'm not going to be here. But next week, I don't know.
It might take a couple days for Zack.
Yeah.
In case that's about it. Like, hey.
So do what you feel is right. You know him, so you do what you feel you need to do to get into his confidence again.
All right.
And then give me a shout when you think you want to do it.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay?